Welcome back to the Lewis Cruz Physical Education Complex. Xavier Langford will start at quarterback today. Last week he was 11 of 22, 50% for 105 yards, a touchdown, and a long of 62 yards. Bulldogs preparing to kick off. That's number 38. Number 38 for the Bulldogs, who's going to kick off as soon as I get to that page. And that's Moffitt. The kick goes end over end. It's going to sail into the end zone. That's what Mr. Moffitt brings to the Bulldogs. That ball will be kicked into the end zone, and that means Lane will start 1st and 10 from their 25-yard line. Starting lineup for the Bulldogs defense, number 4, Zarion Hayes. Number 93, Dorian Wesley, defensive tackle. Nose tackle, number 60, Liston Richardson. Defensive end, number 7, Jamarion Ellis. Middle linebacker, number 51, Xavier Billingsley. Strong side linebacker, number 12, Marvin Smith. Weak side linebacker, number 9, Jordan Mitchell. Right corner, Caleb Dawson. Left corner will be Amari Pate. One cornerback, Kenechukwu Iziomume. And another cornerback will be number 21, Anthony Fielding. Quarterbacking for Lane, number 4, Polo Solomon. 6'1", 185-pound, red shirt sophomore. Lane starts 1st and 10. 2 receivers to the far side. Now one will go in motion to the right and then come back left. Handoff for Lane, and the Bulldog defense gets there in a hurry. The handoff, as soon as I find that number 10, Kylan Duell, 5'8", 185-pound redshirt junior. Give him a half a yard loss, 2nd down and 11 for Lane from just outside their 25-yard line. Polo Solomon in at quarterback. 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far, H-back to the far side. Pistol back will get the handoff and go right up the middle, but no, it's a fake and a quick screen to the near side, in and out of the hands of number 14 for Lane. That's number 14, Jaquez Jones, 5'11", 175-pound redshirt junior out of Orlando, Florida, Dr. Phillips High School. 3rd down and call it 10 for Lane. No score. We are just underway. The Lewis Cruz Classic 12th Annual. The threatening rain showers in the area have suppressed the crowd a bit. Here's Polo back to pass. He's going to look deep over the middle. Pass is incomplete. Solomon's pass is. It was intended for number 14. That's Jaquez Jones again. Incomplete pass. Now Lane will punt. Noah Showles, number 13, back deep to punt. Back deep to return the punt. Looks like number 4. No, it is number 1, Terrell Gardner. High snap, but pulled in. Good punt. It's going to spin the air. Gardner does not call for the fair catch. He's going to put the ball on the ground. It's on the ground. He muffed it. The ball's still loose out near the 40-yard line. We thought Gardner was going to call for a fair catch. Looks like he tried to do a little bit too much with that one. The wind here has picked up. He lost control. Lane gets the muff punt and will cover at their own 40-yard line by Lane's number 45, Asmar Hassan, 5'10", 195-pound linebacker junior out of Atlanta, Georgia, Lithonia High School. Polo Solomon brings them back on the field, 1st and 10. First and 10 for Lane. Solomon's pass intended for number 81 bounces in the air, and it is picked off by the Bulldogs. Oh, my goodness, that is the sign on the field. The signal from the official, that is an interception. Lane's leaving the field. The Bulldogs are exchanging teams. 1st and 10. They will mark the ball at the Bulldog 44-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. Pulled one back. Interception made by number 6, Amari Pate, the 6'2", 205-pound safety, the junior. Wow. Okay, so one thing we're going to look for today are the number of turnovers that the Bulldogs are able to wrangle in. And now we're even. Bulldogs lost. They didn't call it a fumble. It's a muffed punt. But that is a turnover because Lane maintained possession. Now the Bulldogs get it back. 1st and 10. The Bulldogs' 44-yard line. 13:52 left to go in the first half. Each team has had the ball. Now let's see if we can settle down here and get something going. Wow. Looks like we have a timeout on the field, but now I see a television type person on the field giving us a timeout. So let's take a quick 30 seconds with them. They might be reviewing this. So let's take a quick 30 seconds. We'll come back. This is the Alabama A&M Sports Radio Network. Welcome back to the Lewis Cruz Stadium of the Lewis Cruz Physical Education Complex for the Lewis Cruz Classic. Had lots of events, particularly the Hill Project, which kicked off yesterday here on campus. Every member of the Lee 9th Grade Academy was invited to come on campus and spend the day on campus. You know, you start here, you can go anywhere. Every 9th grader from Lee had that opportunity. There will be other events along the year and along their 4 years in college. So you get to raise them, get them interested, and then hopefully we'll be talking about another record freshman class on the Hill like we are this year. Congratulations to the admission office and those who are going to help them matriculate here on the Hill. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. They have marked the ball at the 47-yard line. The challenge or the review allows the Bulldogs to keep the ball. That interception stands. 1st and 10 from the 46. Xavier Langford in at quarterback. We're going to check to see who the running back is. We're told that Donovan Eaglin was not going to play today. Well, now then we have a different formation. There are 3 people in the backfield. We're going to hand it off right up the middle. And that handoff went to Bulldogs number 26, Ryan Morrow, 6 foot, 203-pound sophomore from Maplesville, Alabama. Maplesville High School. Quick pass from the Bulldogs to the left side. That's Gardner. Gardner tries to make a move. He's just going to get a yard out of it. Bulldogs going to hurry up that time. 2nd down and 9 in lane territory from the lane 43-yard line. The lane 38-yard line. Morrow in the backfield. Eaglin did not start. Now the Bulldogs 2 receivers on the far side. CJ comes in motion, Cameron Young. He'll set up in the slot on the near side. The ball's on the far hash. 2nd down and 9. Langford takes the snap. He's going to drop back, look deep down the field. He's going to let it fly. He's got Keenan Hambrick. Oh, just over the outstretched hands. Oh, my goodness. If Langford keeps running, not Langford. If Hambrick keeps running, that's a touchdown. He had his man beat. Oh, my goodness. Number 3, Joseph Wilson, was on the defense for Lane. You know, the new thing now is, someone mentioned the other day, double numbers in college. We just don't have one number 4. We got 2 number 4s. We don't have 1 5. We have 2 5s. 2 6s, 2 7s. Gmo Nendy. 2 11s. 3rd down and 9 for the Bulldogs from the lane 38. Clark comes in motion out of the backfield. He'll set up at the 40-yard line, the near side. Trip receivers near, too far. Empty backfield for Langford. Langford looks. He's going to find and throws a dart. And, oh, my goodness, he got blown up. The intended receiver did by number 7, Jeremiah Brown, for Lane. Number 4, Cameron Young on the reception. Young hangs on. That's enough for a Bulldog 1st down. Down to the lane 26-yard line. Bulldogs driving. Oh, my goodness, that was a dangerous pass. 3 receivers to the near side, tight end. Langford, play action pass. He's going to step out of the pocket. He's under pressure. He tries to get away, but doesn't. Langford will go down. That's number 45 for Lane on the tackle. Asmar Hassan, we've called his name already, a linebacker. Junior out of Atlanta. That's a tackle for loss all the way back to the lane 29-yard line. 12:08 left to go. No score. Bulldogs driving. Crowd tempered a bit by the rain that came in the area. 2 receivers near side, 2 to the far, but now Bryson Clark, tight end, comes in motion. Handoff, and the pile will go push, get straight ahead push from number 26. That's Ryan Morrow. Maplesville High School won several state championships in the state of Alabama. Stopped by number 51, Tyshawn Gator. 3rd down and 8 from the lane 24 go the Bulldogs. Not an empty backfield set. 3 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far. Morrow to Langford's left. 4 down lineman for Lane. Langford's going to take the snap and run right up the middle. He's at the 20-15. He makes a move. He's hit and brought down at the 11-yard line. That will be enough for a first down for the Bulldogs. Jeremiah Malborn and number 9, Marlon Smart for Lane on the tackles. but a little too late. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs from the lane 11. Handoff again, right up the middle. That's Morrow. He twists and turns, bounces off every first contact, second contact, and then the third. And he will be down at the 5-yard line, or just inside the 5. Give him a pickup of 6 on the play. 2nd down and 4 for the Bulldogs. They can get a first down without scoring a touchdown. Now flags come in from all over. I don't know if this is a legal procedure. Looking for the referee, and there he is. Legal procedure against the Bulldogs, false start. You can't set yourself in a 3-point stance and then come out of that stance once you come set. That'll back the Bulldogs up to the lane 10-yard line. 2nd down and 9. Bulldogs have to get inside the lane 1 for a first down. Still no score. Still no score in the game. 10-26. Ted Dixie, Darrell Griffin, and Marcus Sims in the booth with us. 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far. Play action pass, RPO. Pass to the corner of the end zone. Touchdown, Bulldogs. Cameron Young with the touchdown reception. Bulldogs go up 6-0, 10 minutes, 11 seconds left to go in the first period. The extra point to come.
It can be really tough. But if you notice something, have a conversation with your loved one. Encourage them to see a doctor or offer to go with them. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. The Alzheimer's Association provides care, support, and research to help you take control.
Lewis Cruz Physical Education Complex. Ted Dixie, Darrell Griffin, our spotter. Marcus Sims in. That kickoff from Mr. Moffitt went through the end zone again. We love that. 1st and 10 from Lane College, the Dragons, from their 25-yard line. 1st and 10. Bulldogs will shift on defense. You'll see that a lot. Bulldogs start with everyone at the line of scrimmage, and they shift out in position. Here's a handoff. The running back trying to go to the outside. He had nowhere to go. Tackle made on that play by the Bulldogs, number 95, Hayden Guilford, 6'2", 220-pound senior, Loganville, Georgia, Grayson High School. That's the high school of good friend of mine, fraternity brother, Dana Pugh, who's now on the faculty at Alabama A&M. He was the principal. 3rd down and call it 16 for Lane. They're going to try that sweep again to the right side, and really there's just nowhere to go. Kylan Dew, 5'8", 185-pound redshirt junior on the carry. He'll get the ball almost all that lost yardage back. Tackled by number 9, Jordan Mitchell. 3rd and 11 for Lane. Bulldogs leading 7-0 on a great opening drive. It's not even 9 minutes left to go in the first period, and Lane's already down 7-0. Trip receiver bunch to the near side. Solomon back to pass. He's trying to get out of the pocket, but he's down quickly. Several Bulldogs get there and get in there again. Number 9, Jordan Mitchell. And Mitchell gives him the stomp out move, and Lane punting again, 4th down, 11. This is what you want to see. Playing down in division, as I'm saying, the Bulldogs are punching down. Noah Showles is back to punt. Back deep for the Bulldogs will be Terrell Gardner. He's got to make sure he catches the ball this time or just call a fair catch and let it bounce. Last time he tried to find the ball and catch it, but the swirling wind did him in. Now Gardner being driven back, he'll field it at the 43. Trying to come near side, he does. He gets a hole. He gets a block at the 50. Still on his feet at the 45, still on his feet. Pulled out of bounds. Gardner will go out of bounds short of the 45-yard line of Lane. Tackle made by Lane's number 1, Anthony Evelyn. And with that, the Bulldogs will start again in Lane territory. 1st and 10 from the Lane 48-yard line. Games like this, when you punch up in class, we know the results. You feel bad because you can't gain any traction, but that wasn't the case last week at Vanderbilt. Bulldogs did more than enough, as Moffitt had a 65-yard kickoff that went all the way to the end zone. He was talking in the pregame about a 74-yarder. They take off the yardage that you get to start your play, and it's usually at 25, and I think Vanderbilt had that wrong. Inside handoff to number 26, Ryan Morrow for the Bulldogs. He will pick up, give it a quick 3, down to the Lane 45-yard line, 2nd and 7. Trying to get all those cobwebs out from preseason. Bulldogs up 7-0. One receiver to the far side. Two receivers to the far side now. That's Gardner in the slot. Hambrick is to the near side. We have an H-back and a tight end to the near side, and a handoff, no RPO. Morrow down the middle. He'll turn and then get the pass from Langford. Good job, Morrow, fighting off one defender, two defenders, still on his feet. He gets driven back, though, but he loses like 4 yards from where he caught the ball. He's tackled by number 31, Walter Tatum, for Lane. Would turn out to be maybe a 7-yard gain, ends up being a 2-yard gain, if that. Third down, and we will call it 6 for the Bulldogs. 3rd and 6. Lane doing a good job on the outside holding up the A&M receivers, but I'd like to see Hambrick go deep again. He's got like a 4 or 5 inch advantage on number 3. Wilson, that corner, is listed at 5'10", but he looks like he's shorter than that. Offset I. Langford's going to roll the pocket Hambrick's way. He's got Hambrick with it. Hambrick makes the catch at the 32. He'll make a move inside the 30. Hambrick will be put on the ground at the 29-yard line. That is enough for Lane. First down. That's Hambrick's first catch of the season. Last season, he dropped too many at Vandy. You heard Coach Maynard talk about what he wanted to see, an improvement. He said your team improves more between week 1 and week 2. Well, the improvement there is that Hambrick caught the ball. Got so bad for him last week that he dropped an easy one across the middle. But, boy, has he been intense this week. 2 receivers near side now. Young will go in motion from the slot right, slot left. Play action pass at the RPO, and, it was almost picked off. Or did they pick it off? Yes, the official signals Lane ball. Number 59, Lamarius Jackson, 5'11" linebacker, 225 pounds, out of Montgomery, Alabama, Wetumpka High School. Made the pick. Langford ran the RPO, but they stepped right into the lane of the pass. Number 7, Jeremiah Brown, batted it up, and then it was the quarterback's worst nightmare, a tip ball. Second turnover for the Bulldogs. Lane did not get any points off the first one. Bulldogs got the second turnover and scored on it. Now the Bulldogs get to play a little bit of defense, and they don't mind that today. 1st and 10 from the Lane 34. Something else you can clean up, and that would be trying to fool them more on an RPO. But Lane has watched plenty of film of Mr. Langford, and you've got to know that's one of his plays. 1st and 10, Solomon trying to run an RPO of his own. Lane does, and the pass is just a little bit far out of the outstretched hands. Number 14, Jones of Langford, incomplete. 2nd down and 10 for Solomon, the quarterback. Polo Solomon, 6'1", 185-pound redshirt sophomore out of Las Vegas, Nevada. He's a transfer from Jacksonville State to Lane. We talked about earlier the transfer portal. This is where it really works for you. You got a kid who graduates and has eligibility left. Then you don't have to give him a scholarship. Trip receivers to the near side for Lane, 1 to the far. Solomon has 1 in the backfield with him, but a timeout is going to be called. We're going to take a 1.5-minute timeout with them. Bulldogs up on Lane, 7-0, 6:03 left to go in the first. This is the Alabama A&M Radio Network. Welcome back to the Lewis Cruz Classic. Lane has just run another RPO for a first down. And now the Bulldogs, did he take it back? Yes, they did. The Bulldogs just intercepted the ball again. That's number 2, Caleb Dawson, who led the Bulldogs in tackles last week at Vandy. Another Appalachian State transfer, folks. We take it back. Bulldogs now, even on the turnovers, 5:30 left to go. The Bulldogs turn Lane away, up 7-0. And they will start 1st and 10 from the 41-yard line of the Bulldogs. I tell you what I liked at Vanderbilt. The SEC has the electronic sign with the timeouts that the timeout person holds. So you know exactly what you have. Kerry will get better. Kerry Macklin back at the station getting us on and off the air. We thank you so much for that. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs from their 41-yard line. 2 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near. Pistol back in the backfield. Gardner in motion from left to right. Now we're going to hand it off. Here comes Morrow. Good block on the outside. Morrow at the 50, 45, 40. Morrow dropped it just inside the 40-yard line to the 38. Gertrude, you should have seen that run. Great execution by the Bulldogs. Number 25, Nicholas Patterson on the tackle for Lane. The Bulldogs 1st and 10 from the Lane 38. You're going to see the passing game. Now the Bulldogs will stack the outside receivers and then RPO to the far side. That's Gums with the reception. Number 11, he's driven out of bounds. No gain on the play. LeVar Gums, wide receiver, 6'2", 195-pound senior from New Orleans, Central Michigan transfer, and he's tackled by number 31, Tatum for Lane. We go play in Baton Rouge next week. We got enough folks from down in Louisiana, man. I should have a good pregame meal next week. Call it 2nd and 10 for the Bulldogs from the 38 of Lane. 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far. Offset I with Clark in the front, Morrow in the back. To Langford's right. Langford's going to look to the sideline. Coach Jason Mai, the quarterback coach, is going to make the signal after he gets the call from Dwayne Taylor, the offensive coordinator, sitting next to us. Hand off to Morrow. He'll stutter step left, step back right. And by the time he gets on the ground, that play will result in another Bulldog first down. 10-yard carry on the play. Tackled again by number 45, Hassan. Now they're going to say Morrow's just a little bit short of the first down by a half a yard. Now they'll say 1st and 10. They'll move the sticks. Quick snap for the Bulldogs. Morrow again, right up the middle. Can't stop it. Morrow sidesteps the safety, but he's pulled to the ground down to the 15-yard line of Lane. The sticks weren't even set yet. Got another first down for the Bulldogs. That's Malborn on the tackle for Lane. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far. Tight end to the far side for the Bulldogs. Morrow in the backfield. He's going to get it again. Morrow charges ahead, pushes that pop. Still on his feet. Jumps out. And, ooh, he gets upended on the far side. Oh, my goodness. Someone got there in a hurry. That's number 31, Tatum again, who pulled him down. But someone from the secondary ran up and really upended him to help out the tackle. We have an official timeout. Trying to see if there was someone down in the medical staff. Yeah, Emma's headed out there. And someone is down. So we will take a look at them. This is going to be a bit of a long one. We'll take a quick 30-second timeout. 30-second timeout. Bulldogs up 7-0, 3:11 left to go in the first. This is the Alabama A&M Network. We are back at the Lewis Cruz Physical Education Complex. Down on the field is number 26, Ryan Morrow. He got upended, but he makes it off the field under his own power. And just to let you know who those folks are, we're talking about our medical staff. Emma Brackett, the head football athletic trainer. Andrew Davis, the assistant. Amaya Allen, Retrice Mallard, Madison Page, and Lamisha Parker. As we hand off again, the new running back will be number 23, Isaiah Nwokenwo, who pushes that ball, almost got his first touchdown to the Bulldogs. They'll stop him just short, right at the 1-yard line. That should be enough for a Bulldog first down, and it is. 1st and goal for the Bulldogs, leading 7-0 already. 3:09 left to go in the first. And now overload right, going to hand it off, push the pile. A formation like that, touchdown, Bulldogs! From a formation like that, you expect it on the goal line, Division Football Championship Subdivision versus Division II. You should see that touchdown, and that's exactly what we got. Let's see the replay, who put it in the end zone. And that looked like number 23 for the Bulldogs. That's Nwokenwo, who goes in the end zone. His first touchdown as a Bulldog. Now Miller with the snap. McCready with the hold. Barbosa with the kick. And it is good, but several flags come in on the snap. Let's see what the call is. The Barbosa's hitting everyone on the head. Everyone's headbutting each other, so it must have been against Lane. Let's see what the referee says as the cheerleaders take the AAMU flags. Those flags have gotten smaller. Legal participation against Lane. Someone ran on the field late. So the extra point counts. The penalty is declined. Bulldogs go up 14-0. 30-second timeout. This is the Alabama A&M Radio Network. To the Lewis Cruz Classic, number 12 in the books. The Bulldogs up 14-0. Ted Dixie, Darrell Griffin, Marcus Sims on hand, a special guest in the booth with us, Kevin Cofield, as I look for the drive statistics on our tablet. We're almost there. Boy, we're getting a lot of plays here already. All right, it goes the other way. So Barbosa's kick was good, had the substitution penalty. They do not have the drive summary listed yet, but nevertheless, another kickoff, and man, it sailed into the end zone. I'm going to tell you something. it has to get 3 kickoffs that go into the end zone and cause Lane to have to take the ball at their 25. I've never seen that as long as I've been broadcasting for Alabama A&M University. And number 38, Luke Moffitt, has just given us 3 this week and had 1 last week. You heard the pregame interview with special teams and kickers coach Richard Wilson. And we just said, man, we had to think about Chance Wilson when we came back from that. But, man, Moffitt's going to make you forget everybody. Every ball he kicks is going to the end zone. Man, I love that. 1st and 10 for Lane. 2 receivers either side. They'll zigzag the formation. Then he'll hand it off. And Lane does a good job getting push up front. And they'll push the ball to the 29-yard line of Lane. Lane beat Tennessee State last year to end the season. Lane's coach had a couple of words for Coach Maynard earlier this year, but it was bulletin board material as the 3 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near, going to hand it off again. And another fine run by number 10, Duhe, or D-U-H-E. We'll go and get a pronunciation for you at the half, folks. We apologize for that. Nevertheless, Lane's play will result in another Lane first down out to their 35-yard line. Bulldog defense needs to tighten up some. Lane has made hay by running the football, and that is the staple of the SIAC, running the football. Trip receivers to the far side for Lane, 1 to the near, pistol back in with Solomon and quarterback. Solomon, the Jacksonville State transfer. Bulldogs showing blitz, but he'll find his way to the outside. Does Solomon. Good pitch and catch there by Lane. Goes out to the Lane 38-yard line. Reception made by Lane's number 8, Raheem Quinney, 5'10", 183-pound sophomore out of Mobile, Alabama, Theodore High School. Bulldogs will journey there to play Jackson State again. That's the same weekend as Maxwell and Huntsville. But I'll be in Mobile. Trip receivers to the far side, 1 to the near. Pistol back in. Solomon looking right. He's going to throw right. Oh, my goodness. That was a rocket that he threw on a slant. Complete to number 84, Terrence Holland, a 5'10", 165-pound freshman out of Jacksonville, Florida. Trip receiver, same formation. Trip receivers far side, 1 to the near. Solomon with the pistol back. Now play is being held up. No, they're going to go ahead with it. 1st and 10, now a flag comes in, legal procedure. False start, we hear the referee call. Now some information for Alabama A&M athletics here. First year of football here on the Hill was 1912. First year of NCAA Division I competition, 1998. Overall record, 445 victories, 425 losses, 33 ties, and a handoff again. And Lane putting together a nice drive here. They'll push the ball all the way up to the 50-yard line. And that's due again on the carry. Second down and 7 for Lane from the 50. They'll get the snap off. Here's Dew again. He went right side and came back left. Dew picked up a serious quick 7 yards on the play. That will bring us up to the last play, or that will be the end of the first quarter. Marvin Smith on the tackle, safety 6'2", 220 pounds out of Loganville, Georgia, a Kennesaw State transfer. So we'll take this minute and a half timeout. Bulldogs up 14-0, but Lane is driving. This is the Alabama A&M Sports Radio Network. Welcome back to the Lewis Cruz Classic, 12th annual. Lane with the ball, the end of the first quarter. Bulldogs are up 14-0. Lane driving. Second down and 8 from the Bulldog 41. Solomon back to pass. He's going to go deep. He got a receiver in the middle of the field. He's hit, but he will fall into the end zone. Touchdown, Lane. Jaquez Jones with the touchdown reception from Solomon. Call it 38-yard touchdown pass. Man. Solomon looks good. And now Lane's gotten on the board. The Lane band came. Lane's colors, red, white, and blue. Mostly red and blue. As we look at the first half statistics, we have an intern in here today, Kevin Cofield. We'll get to some of the first half statistics while the extra point is to come. the hold of number 17, that's Gaston. The kick was made by number 13, Shawls. And Lane now cuts the score to 14-7. Let's take a 30-second timeout. This is the Alabama A&M Sports Radio Network.
Welcome to WJAB TV, where it's easy to catch up with the latest school updates around campus, stay up to date with the latest sports, indulge in different lecture series from notable people who've made a difference in the world. Enjoy free and easy access through our social media. Experience greatness through your screen. This is WJAB TV.
Welcome back. The Lane drive culminates with them in a touchdown. Noah Shaw's extra point attempt is good, and the Bulldogs lead 14-7. Ted Dixie, Darrell Griffin, our spotter, Marcus Sims, who will have the halftime show for you, and our intern, Kevin Cofield. Lane preparing to kick off from their 35. Back deep for the Bulldogs will be number 1, Terrell Gardner, number 4, Cameron Young. And Gardner will field it at the 16. He comes back to the middle of the field. Gardner looking for a block, but he will be stymied. The 31-yard line. 25-yard return. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. Jonathan Monroe on the tackle for Lane. Crowd was building for the Lewis Cruz Classic. Have to think that the rain held us up. The predicted rain. But I don't get it. It's college football. Sometimes you got to earn your stripes, but you know these dog houses take up a great deal of space. At first, I didn't know how big they were. They looked like they're about 12 by 20. You get a lot of folks in there. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs from their 30-yard line. Bulldogs going from right to left. Lane will be going from left to right. Langford in the backfield, play action pass. He's going to throw it. No, he'll pull it back down as he is pulled to the ground. Hold the ball just a little bit long there. Lane got to him. Sacked on the play with number 92, Jaquintus Summers, 6'2", 285-pound sophomore out of Pritchard, Viger High School. Loss of 2. 2nd down and 12 for the Bulldogs from just outside their 28-yard line. 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far. Offset I to the near side. Langford takes a snap. Gives it Morrow back in the ball game. Morrow picks his way. It's going to get pulled down, but he gets back to the line of scrimmage, which means he picked up 2 yards, the original line of scrimmage, that is. 13:33 left to go. Bulldogs now up 14-7. Lane finally answered. If you wonder about Lane, Lane defeated Tennessee State last year as the overcast sky now has the lights here on the playing surface, obscuring our view a bit from Normal's Hill. And it's a pretty view it is. 3rd down and 10 for the Bulldogs. Empty backfield set for Langford. We hear the coaches screaming and yelling because the formation is not where it needs to be. 3 seconds on the play clock. I'm going to throw it out here to a screen to Gardner. Gardner makes the catch. He'll make one move. He doesn't get past the other defender. He will go down at the 33-yard line. Tackle made by Tyshawn Gator. And that's 4th down for the Bulldogs. Not a good offensive series that time for the Bulldogs. A loss. Get back to the line of scrimmage, and then we couldn't get the formation together or the read right. Langford being a little bit hard on himself. Probably not as hard as Coach Maynard's going to be, that's for sure. As I mentioned in the pregame with the interview with Coach, he was on edge this week. He was squeezing every bit of performance from his student athletes. And that's at 5:30 in the morning, and then they have to go to class. So now back to punt for the Bulldogs. McCready, but a whistle comes in. McCready averaging 54 yards a punt, and that one right there landed inside the 15-yard line. He was standing on the 20. Illegal procedure, 5-yard penalty on the Bulldogs. Push them outside. It's 2 sticks now. They'll go back to the 28-yard line. McCready's going to try it again. Austin McCready, 6'1", 195-pound junior from New Orleans. Yeah, that's right. Somebody's going to bring some food to Baton Rouge next week. McCready gets the ball off, and goodness, that is a rocket. And that drives Lane inside their 20, and he's tackled right away. I mean, that's a weapon you can't. 28. 32, 42. That's a 52-yard punt fielded by a tackle made by number 39, Miles Gilmore. Yeah, you heard me ciphering, folks. That's a 52-yard punt right there. Terrence Howard was tackled immediately on the return for Lane. So now we will switch ends. Lane will now go left to right. 11:59 left to go in the half. Bulldogs up 14-7. Lane on their last possession put together a drive to get 7 points. Now the Bulldog defense has to answer. This is the game that we don't get to see the death unless we get a good lead. Here's a handoff on the jet sweep. No, it's another RPO, and then no, it's a delayed pass out to the flat. My goodness, that's a good-looking play. For Lane, it was a faked handoff, fake RPO, then a throw to the near side, caught by number 5, Virgil Young, who after he was done ended up with a first down. 1st and 10 for Lane from their 34-yard line. Coach Bulwer, the defensive coordinator for the Bulldogs, may have to pull something out of his bag of tricks here. Here's another handoff going left side. Again, that's Dew. Dew picks his way, gets a quick 5 yards out to the 39-yard line of Lane. 2nd down and 5. Tackle made by number 7, Jamarion Ellis. Bulldogs showing press. Now they're going to blitz. He ran up late. Now the flag finally comes in. There was contact made before the snap. That's going to be offside of the Bulldogs. Trying to see which number that was, and that may be Biombi. Number 50, Demetrius Biombi, the linebacker junior from Miami, Florida, from Coral Gables High School, was faking the blitz, but he came up and made contact when he got into the neutral zone and just gave Lane nearly a first down. They're going to be about a half yard short. 2nd down and call it 6 inches. Be a first down because it was 1st and 5 and with 2 penalties. So 1st and 10 for Lane from their 44-yard line, trailing the Bulldogs 14-7. 11:05 left to go. Quick toss to the left side. The Bulldog defense gets there, and they get there in a hurry. First Bulldog there, if we can get his number 2, that's my guy, Caleb Dawson. I mean, he was shot like a cannon, and he got there along with Ellis. Back Lane up. Will they give him progress back to the line of scrimmage? 2nd down and 10 for Lane. Bulldogs will shift again. They don't get movement. There's a handoff, and everyone ran right by him. No lane fits or run fits, as coach would say. And that runner duels all the way down the 41-yard line. I was looking for the Bulldogs to get 200 yards rushing. Duel may get that. They put him down at the 42-yard line of the Bulldogs. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. For the Lane Dragons. Trip receivers to the near side, one to the far. A new running back in for Lane. We'll try to get his number. Solomon still in at quarterback. He'll clap his hands, look to the sidelines. Number 26, Marion Peters is in the backfield now for Lane. Trip receivers to the near side, one to the far. That's our most successful formation. Going to hand it off. The Bulldogs don't get there, and they don't tackle when they do. Running back is going to end up all the way up to the Bulldogs' 35-yard line, down rather. 2nd down and 3. Bulldogs looking a little bit like Swiss cheese right now with Lane in their running attack. 2nd down and call it 3. Bulldogs are going to show blitz, coming on a run blitz now. And try to make Lane throw the ball, but Lane has been effective throwing the ball. We might be in for a dogfight. Bulldogs up 14-7. 9:16 left to go. Play clock is at 9. Here comes the blitz off both corners. They're going to try one-on-one down the right sideline. Incomplete. Oh, my gosh. That was almost a spectacular one-handed catch. You know, the ball is much tackier now than it used to be. And with all the receivers wearing gloves, no wonder you see so many one-handed catches because the ball almost sticks there. The intended receiver was Raheem Quinney. Ask me about that one later. 3rd down and 3 from the Bulldog 35 goes Lane. 2 receivers to the near side, 2 to the far side, 1 pistol back. Bulldogs counter, 3 down linemen, 1 standing up. They're going to roll the pocket to the near side and in and out of the hands. Number 14, Jones. Man, that's a tough one. Lane was going to have a first down there. But Solomon's not leaving the field yet. He's looking over for a play. Lane's going to go for it. Absolutely. Marvin Smith led the Bulldogs in tackles at the end of the first, followed by Mitchell. Smith had 5, Mitchell had 3, Billingsley had 2, Ellis had 1. 4th down and 3 for Lane from the Bulldog 35. Bulldogs leading 14-7. 8:57 left to go in the first half. Not as large a crowd as I was expecting for today. Timeout now on the field. We'll take it with them. 30-second timeout. Bulldogs up 14-7. This is the Alabama A&M Sports Radio Network. Back to the 12th annual Lewis Cruise Classic. The lights are on because of the threatening weather. Lane side with their band here. 8:57. Marcus Sims is joining us. Daryl Griffin is our spotter, and I'm your play-by-play announcer, Ted Dixie. Empty backfield set for Lane. 4th down and 3. Trip receivers to the near side, 2 to the far. They have some confusion on the offensive line, and we have a penalty, illegal procedure against Lane. Back them up 5, which means they're going to punt. I hope they're going to punt. Unless they got a real serious field goal kicker, that'd be 57 yards from here. Solomon, the quarterback, still on the field. He gets a signal from the sideline. They're going to try it. 4th down and 8 for Lane for the Bulldog 40. Bulldog defense have to get serious. Number 12 for the Bulldogs, Marvin Smith, encouraging his other student athletes. Let's go defense. 3 down linemen for the Bulldog, now 4. They're going to roll the pocket for Solomon. Solomon gets away on one side, trying to line up. He throws the ball. Had a receiver down the middle of the field, number 4. Solomon tried to hit. That looked like number 4, but it's not. It's number 8, Quinney. And Quinney just can't make the catch. Oh, my gosh. Solomon did everything he could to get open and throw the football. The Bulldogs almost let him off the hook. Penalty was an illegal man downfield. Bulldogs will, because there's the flag right there, the Bulldogs will refuse the penalty, take the ball over, 1st and 10. Wow. What a train of events. Zarion Hayes picks up the official's flag. Don't get cooties. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs from their 40-yard line now. Bulldogs now going from right to left. 8:47 left to go in the first period. And now they're getting serious. A bunch trip receiver set close to the line of scrimmage to the near side of the field. Hambrick on the far side. Quick toss to Morrow. Morrow trying to pick his way. Lane does a good job of covering it, but Morrow does a good job. That was Isaiah Nowinko who gets it the 3 yards out to the 43-yard line. So Morrow might be done for the day after he walked off the field being upended. 3rd down and 7. Hand off, nope, RPO to the near side. Complete to Young near the 1st down, but it will be marked a little bit short. Quincy Casey in at quarterback now for the Bulldogs. Casey played quarterback last year. The problem with Casey and with Langford, they had more interceptions than touchdowns last year. But Casey's going to get a try. Wondering about Quad Brown. Well, he has a knee injury. He will not play today. Maybe doubtful for the year. Casey, another handoff. Here's Noquinco. And he, stutter steps somebody, fakes them, fakes me, ends up inside the 40-yard line down to the 38. Brown on the tackle. Nwokenwo doing his thing. Bulldogs moving it. Casey in the backfield will hand off again. Here comes Ike near side, but he'll be stacked up. No gain on the play. Now who has a better arm? Quincy Casey has the better deep ball arm. Who has been more consistent? Langford has been more consistent. But with Brown's current injury, we're going back to the 2 quarterback system we saw last year. We hope that both quarterbacks who played last year will improve. You have to throw more touchdowns than interceptions. So with the ace formation, 2 tight ends, 2 splits, and 1 running back, that's Nwokenwo behind Casey. Lane sitting on a single high safety. They're trying to fake a coverage, and Ike tried to stutter step, but the play was read well by Lane. There was a loss on the play back to the 41-yard line. Hassan on the tackle. That Hassan kid is playing lights out. I have to go back and look at the stats. They had him only with 2 tackles. Well, that's a kick return. We have to go in there and fix those. Oh, there were no kick returns for them, but the tackles he had 2. Seemed like he did more than that. 3rd down and 12 for the Bulldogs from the Lane 39-yard line. 2 receivers far side, tight end to the near offset eye. Quincy Casey's going to roll the pocket, but he's going to hand it off quickly to Wokenwo, who gets pulled down just outside the 30-yard line. They'll give him progress down to the 32. Josh Sacobia on the tackle for Lane. And now Ike comes out of the game limping. Field goal unit comes on the field. Victor Barbosa, who was 9 out of 12 last year on field goal attempts. His long being 47. The school record is 49. This would tie the school record. 39 yards, they'll mark it there. It's a 49-yard field goal. Victor Barbosa for the school record. Bulldogs up 14-7. Out of the snap of Miller. The hold of McCready. Now whistle comes in. Let's see if Lane's going to try to freeze him here. Delay of game on the Bulldogs. Coach Maynard's not going to like that. Not with an opportunity with 5 minutes and 2 seconds left to go in the first half. Not with an opportunity for a field goal. A record-tying field goal, if you will. And now the punting unit's going to come on. McCready just turns around. He gets up from being the holder, and now he goes back to be the punter. Let's see if he can find the coffin corner here. That's if he shoots that ball inside the 5 near one of the pylons. He's holding it, and now he has a good kick, trying to get that way, but it's going to go into the end zone. No, it bounces inside the 5. Now it bounces back inside the 15. The Bulldogs are able to down it and around the 14-yard line. Good job to keep it in there and then to keep Lane back, and they will start 1st and 10 from their 13-yard line. 4:47 left to go in the first period. Bulldogs and Lane in a dogfight with the Dragon and a Bulldog. 14-7 is the score. Bulldogs had 2 turnovers in the game. Lane has not been able to capitalize off the turnovers. The Bulldogs also have got 2 turnovers from Lane. So marching maroon and white makes their way out onto the field in the south end zone. No, that's someone else. 1st and 10 for the Lane. 13 goes Lane. Handoff trying to come this way. Duhay, but the Bulldog defense looks like they're going to stiffen up down here, and they do. Cortez Andrews for the Bulldogs, 6'1", 245-pound linebacker from from Tallahassee, Florida, a Florida State transfer. 2nd down and 10, no gain on the play for Lane. Clock running, 4:20 left in the half. 4:20 away from Marcus Sims and his debut with the Electronic Media Communications halftime show. 2nd down and 10 from the Lane 13. Bulldogs 4-down lineman. Lane going to run an RPO on their side. Oh, my goodness, almost intercepted. Went through the hands of the Bulldog defender. Almost looked like he pulled an ankle going up to get it, and that's number 2, Caleb Dawson. He popped up off the ground trying to get that interception. Didn't get there. Nevertheless, Raheem Quinney gets it for Lane as we have a timeout while they tend to Dawson. That'll be, when play resumes, it will be 1st down from the 28-yard line of Lane. We'll stay right here as Dawson hops off the field. And my goodness, that doesn't look too good. We're going to look at the track to see what happens to him on the sideline. So we just went ahead and took a timeout, but we'll stay right here. Lane and the Bulldogs now coming back on the ball. It'll be 1st and 10 for Lane from their 28. They started this drive on their 13-yard line. Then matriculated the ball down the field for 15 yards. Bulldogs are going to counter. 4 down linemen, 3 linebackers, 4 D-backs. Bulldogs now converge on Lane's running attempt on the first down play, and they'll take it out to the 30-yard line of Lane. Call it 2-yard pickup. 2nd down and 8 for Lane. 3:25 left in the first half. Bulldogs up 14-7. And you can't say that if this happened or that happened, Lane has played quite well. They beat Tennessee State last year. Cornelius Brown, the 4th. No, Lane has a quarterback change, and Solomon's still in the backfield. Solomon's going to keep it on the left side, and I mean, he went to trucking. They'll mark him down at the 39-yard line of Lane. 1st and 10 for Lane. Now Solomon, whose helmet came off, has to come out of the ball game, and now they have a new quarterback for Lane. It looks like number 10, but he's in the backfield, but it looked like he was going to move over to quarterback. But it's number 12, Demetrius Pogue. Pogue now barking signals. 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far. H-back to the far side. And Dew in the backfield with him. Going to hand it off to Dew straight ahead, and Bulldog defense does get there before he gets to the 45-yard line. They'll mark him down at the 43. Give him a pickup of 3. 3rd down, call it 6. Tackle made by Pickett. Dorian Pickett, 6'2", 255-pound senior from Beulahville, North Carolina. Another Appalachian State transfer. Appalachian State says they want their student athletes back. 2nd down and 6 from the Lane 43. Bulldog defense going to shift. They do not get a flag on that. Solomon back in the ball game. Solomon trying to twist and turn. He gets out, and then a flag comes in late. Solomon slides outside the Bulldog 43-yard line. They'll mark him down at the 42. I thought a flag came in, and yes, I can see it. That's got to be a hold. And that is the indication. It is a hold. Back him up 10. Solomon, man, has quick feet. Lane, to be a Division II school, punching the Bulldogs in the face right now, or counter-punching, if you will. Bulldogs up 14-7. But it's been a fight so far. Back Lane up all the way to their 33-yard line. 2nd down and 16 now. Lane's going to have 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far with the tight end. And the running back in the backfield with Solomon back at quarterback. Polo Solomon. Don't ask me. 2nd and 16. Solomon back to pass. He's going to run the screen to the tight end. To the running back out of the backfield, but he drops the ball. Hit him in a bad place, right on his fingertips. That incomplete pass will leave it 3rd down and 16 for Lane. Lane has to be careful. They're not going to get too many chances. So they have to make the most. And plays like that, just like with the Bulldogs last week at Vanderbilt, Coach Maynard talked about the drop passes. Well, Lane is having a bit of that right now. And what you hear is the marching maroon and white warming up, but Lane brought their band today. That's all right. 3rd down and 16. Timeout on the field. We'll take 30-second timeout with them. 1:23 left to go in the first half. Bulldogs up 14-7 over Lane. This is the Alabama A&M Radio Network.
Hey, Tennessee Valley, this is Marcellus Shepard, the bass man. Every Friday at noon, Kyle LaRue and myself bring you the top 10 jazz albums of the week, along with interviews and a whole lot more on the Cool Jazz Countdown. That's this Friday at noon on 90.9 WJAB.
Welcome back to the 12th annual Lewis Cruz Classic, which signifies the opening of the football season with the first home game. Coach Lewis Cruz, who did a lot, and we have several of his athletes that are here. Tommy Lockhart stopped in for a minute to give us a couple of stories here. Did you know Coach Cruz coached an undefeated baseball team as well? Solomon under duress. Bulldogs trying to get there. Solomon being drug all over the field, and then they get a late screen. Caught at the 30, 35, 40, 45, 50 in the Bulldog territory, and finally will go down. I don't know how Solomon got out of that without someone being held. Nevertheless, the broken play that they stayed with ended up being a long screen, 1st and 10 for Lane from the Bulldog 45-yard line. 44-yard line, just inside the 45. 2 receivers near side, 1 to the far. Solomon coming right side is complete just outside the 40-yard line. Pickup of 4.5. Call it 2nd down and 6. As the clock is running to the end of the half, Lane not calling timeout. They've got 3 left. Here's a quick pass to the right side. Receiver makes the grab, goes out of bounds. That's number 14, Jones again. That will be enough for a Lane 1st down. 1st and 10 for Lane from the Bulldog 34-yard line with 34 seconds left to go in the half. This might be that game where you said the first half looks like you looked past these young men and look to next week. Bulldogs now are going to stack the line, only send 2 defenders, and he almost gets there. Solomon is able to dump the ball off, and the receiver, Duel, is tackled out of bounds by number 12 for the Bulldogs, Marvin Smith. So that stopped the clock at 24.2. Lane still with 3 timeouts. No, excuse me. Looking at the scoreboard, Lane has 1 timeout left. The Bulldogs have 3. The timeout's been taken now because we have a student athlete that's down. And while they tend to him, we'll take a 30-second timeout. 30-second timeout. Bulldogs up 14-7. This is the Alabama A&M Sports Radio Network. Come back to the Lewis Cruise Classic, the 12th annual event, signifying the start of the home football season. 2023 underway, and the Bulldogs ahead of Lane 14-7. A student athlete is on the field getting tended to, and now Dr. John Greco makes his way out onto the field, which is never a good sign. Dr. Greco can tell when he hears a sound on the field what the injury is. Trying to get the number of the Bulldog. That's number 4. That's Zarion Hayes. Man, that's a tough one right there, and Jarion's going to get up and walk off under his own power. May have got a knee in the head. But mercy. Whew, that was a close one. We'd hate to lose one of the leading tacklers for loss in Division Football Championship Division last season. Now Hayes coming off slowly. Just hope it's not a concussion. But the way he's walking is a little bit dizzy. 3rd down and 7 for Lane from the Bulldog 30-yard line. 20 seconds left to go in the half. This is probably the last play. Solomon back to pass. He's going to heave it to the end zone. He has a receiver, but it's out over his outstretched hands. Defended on the play by number 21, Anthony Fielding. But 12.6 seconds left to go. Now it's 3rd down and 7. As the bong or the gong goes off, signifying 3rd down. We cannot see Zarion Hayes as he is under the John Greco tent and the sports medicine hut. All that was made famous probably by the University of Alabama. Empty backfield set for Lane. 3 receivers to the far side, 2 to the near. 3rd down and 7. Solomon back to pass. He's going to heave it, trying to go down low, but it is incomplete. Bounces off the intended receiver's hands. That's number 14, Jones again. 4th down and 7. 7.8 seconds left to go. 47-yard field goal from here for Lane if they try it. Referee looks like he's going to make a call here. No, he's just going to his position. 4th and 7. Lane got a timeout. 7.8 seconds left. Peters now at running back for Lane. 1 receiver near side, trips to the far side. Solomon back to pass. He's just going to heave it to the corner. Tip ball drill. Let's see who comes up with it. No one as it bounces out of bounds. That will be the last play of the first half. Bulldogs going to the locker room with the lead, 14-7. Stay tuned for the Electronic Media Communications halftime show brought to you by by Marcus Sims. Back to the Lewis Cruise Physical Education Complex. The Bulldogs kicking off. Moffitt still puts that one in the end zone, but Lane's going to run it out. The 10, 15. Run out of bounds just short of the 20-yard line. Lane will take over after the Bulldogs come out the opening drive of the second half and score. a touchdown. Lane now 1st and 10 from their 20. So what does kicking the ball to the end zone get you when you return it from the end zone? There's a 5-yard difference right now. If you just would have let the ball go to the end zone, Lane would have started at the 25. As it is, now they're starting at the 20. You cannot give Lane any breathing room. Remember, they beat Tennessee State last year. It's still, Tennessee State has more scholarships than they do, as the Bulldogs do today. That just makes it more difficult. Trip bunch formation close to the line of scrimmage on the far side of the field. One receiver on the near, one running back in the backfield. Solomon looking downfield. He's going to check it down. Ball is tipped in the air off the hands of the would-be receiver who caught a Charlie horse. Some would say the turf monster got him, but he's up limping. That's number 8. Quinney, who made several catches in the first half. Let's see if they have him listed. He's not even listed in some of theirs. We'll have to look at this. Now on the stats, they list the times that someone was targeted. 2nd down and 10 for Lane from their 20. Going to hand it off. And this is where Lane has been getting their bread and butter. That's due on the carry, D-U-H-E. Getting his due, and he will be due to get 4 yards out to the 24-yard line, tackled by Bulldogs number 12, Smith. 3rd down and 6. It'd be nice for the Bulldogs to get this going. And now Lane got a pass from the middle of the field. Then it's dropped. Oh, my goodness. That was close enough. That would have been a Lane first down, but it drops the ball. Now the receiver's acting like he should have gotten a penalty. That's Jones again. Nevertheless, Lane will punt. 12:48 left to go in the 3rd period. Bulldogs up 21-7. The 12th annual Lewis Cruise Classic, which has been designed to pay homage. You know, if you don't tell your own history, someone will mess it up for you. And we get to tell the history of Coach Cruz. The punt by Lane towards Gardner, and Gardner tells everyone, Peter, get away, get away. The ball will go out of bounds, the 45-yard line of the Bulldogs. That was That's Showles on the punt. He had 2 in the first half, averaged 32.5 yards along with 34. The voice you hear now is not the stadium announcer for the Bulldogs. It is the DJ at the football game. Well, that's new. 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far. Pistol back. Might be Morrow, who's to the right of Langford. Now Clark goes in motion from left to right. Now we've got a screen to CJ. Young over the 45. Young puts his head down, still on his feet. He'll be jumped on, but finally get out of bounds on the 50-yard line thereabouts. They'll say out at the 49. Pick up of 4. Tackle made by Sacobia. Number 39 for Lane. 3rd down. Second down and 6. Young was just short of the 50-yard line. We'll have single coverage on the near side. That's Hambrick, who has one-on-one and 2 receivers to the far side. Offset eye to the far side of the field. Inside handoff, and he's gone. 40, 35, 30, 20, 10. Touchdown, Bulldogs. Number 26 for the Bulldogs. The name you need to get to know, oh my goodness, Ryan Morrow with the carry. And I mean, he was shot out like a cannon. You like to see the running game. I'm a running game fan. And when Ryan Morrow, the 6', 203-pound sophomore out of Maplesville High School, you ride him down the highway, and I used to always wonder, when are we going to get a kid from Maplesville? Well, we have now, and that's Ryan Morrow. Miller with the snap, McCready with the hold, and Barbosa with the kick for the extra point. And it is good. 11:47 left to go in the 3rd. Timeout on the field. Bulldogs up 28-7. Timeout on the field. 30-second timeout. This is the Alabama A&M Sports Radio Network. Lewis Cruz Physical Education Complex. We're looking for that scoring drive, which is quite impressive by the Bulldogs. See if it will come back. Sidearm Sports. Play-by-play. I asked for the drives, and we can give them to you hopefully at the end of the game. Lane's last drive was 3 yards and 4. It will probably come up after this play. Kickoff by Moffitt. Sailing into the end zone again. Man, I'm telling you, that's a good feeling not having to call. You know, the Bulldogs have had trouble with kick coverage the last several years. When you're in a tight ball game, sometimes we went back and forth. We'd score. Then you go to kick off and you let someone get a good kick return on you, good being like 50, 60-yard return. They're in your territory. You're giving them a short field. With Moffitt kicking that ball off, it goes to the end zone. They just won't return it. It's a good job. Let's see here if we can get that drive composite. That was a 50-yard running touchdown for Ryan Morrow. That's the long of the season. 1st and 10 for Lane from their 25-yard line after the touchback. Bulldogs playing press coverage on the top side. Here's a handoff again to number 10 for Lane, who's been running. That's Dew. And Dew keeps getting his due. Gain of 1 on the play. The Alabama A&M drive was 2 plays, 55 yards, 51 seconds came off the clock. Result was a 50-yard touchdown run by Ryan Morrow. And we hoped last year you might have seen this. You're changing quarterbacks, going from Aquill Glass, who had one of the top 5 passing careers in SWAC history, Ms. King. But you would think this last year we would have run the ball more. Didn't happen, but this season looks like we're playing last season over. Good pass over the middle to number 82 for Lane. That's Darius Naylor, 6'4", 230-pound redshirt freshman tight end from Memphis, Tennessee. 3rd down and 3. You hear the gong in the background coming out of the scoreboard. Bulldogs up 28-7. And yes, if something's good, more is better. One thing about the running game is that it takes time off the clock. Now Lane is going to have 1 running back in the backfield, 4 receivers to that side. They're overloaded to the far side. Solomon back to pass, going down the middle of the field, way over the head of everyone. His intended receiver was number 14, Jones again. On the play, he was covered by 2 defenders, including number 21, Anthony Fielding. Is that number 2, that's number 6 in the game, Amari Pate. And he's 6'2" and looks every bit of it. So Gardner will go back deep for another punt. Shawls will come up to punt again. The first half, Shawls averaged 32.5 yards per punt, which means Gardner needs to be about where he is. Shawls line drive is going to bounce on the near side, go out of bounds, no chance for a return. Jonathan Williams, number 52, the Bulldogs all-conference right tackle, getting ready. The ball bounced near him, and the Bulldogs getting ready to take over again. 1st and 10 from their 36-yard line. 10:05 left to go in the 3rd period. Bulldogs up 28-7 and trying to get some more. Lane proved to be a formidable opponent in the first half. The score was just 14-7 at the half, but you see the Bulldogs have put up a quick 14 points in 5 minutes. Let's see if we can get some more. Now, one score that was interesting at the half was Alabama being down to Texas. Tells you how good Bryce Young was. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs from their 36-yard line. Double fullbacks in the I formation. Play action pass handoff, and now Gardner trying to go down the field, and someone gets pulled to the ground. It looked to me as if Gardner pulled the defensive player to the ground. And now the defensive player can't get up because his ankle looked like it twisted. He and Gardner got tied up. That's number 25, Nicholas Patterson for Lane. As they tend to him, we'll tend to this timeout. 30-second timeout, 9:56 left to go in the 3rd. Bulldogs up 28-7. This is the Alabama A&M Sports Radio Network. To the Lewis Cruz Classic Year 12. Also, welcome back to the Hill, Marcus Bird, Director of Financial Aid. His father, Taylor Bird, and my dad were at Penn State together getting PhDs. Handoff, and Lane smelled it a mile away. Bulldogs going to lose 8 yards on the play, all the way back to inside the Bulldog 30, and they'll say down to 29-yard line. Goodness. That one didn't have a chance at all. Lane read that one from start to finish. Langford still in the ball game, number 16. the half. Langford was 6 out of 8, 1 interception, into the first. Screen pass for the Bulldogs. Made the catch after the diving defender almost got there, but that's Young on the carry. On the reception and the run after the catch. Just gets the Bulldogs back to the original line of scrimmage. Now you're going to see what Austin McCready can do as a punter. If Lane doesn't come forward, they'll probably try to set up a return. Back deep for them is number 84, Terrence Holland. McCready will have a 3-person screen, the 2 gunners on the outside. Lane comes for it, but McCready gets it up, and oh my goodness, turns over. It's a high rainmaker, and it will be fair caught at the 16-yard line. That was a pedestrian 40-yard punt, easily from McCready. And Lane will take over 1st and 10 from the 16 as soon as the statistics are updated. I'll be able to tell you about that punt. But I think I counted it. 1st and 10 for Lane from their 16-yard line. Lane trailing the Bulldogs 28-7. And it would take a monumental effort for Lane to get back in this one. One of my high school classmates, Jeff Owens, graduated from Lane College. Jackson, Tennessee, just outside of Nashville. It was about a good hour and a half ride from Jacksonville, if not further. I think they're closer to Memphis than they are to Nashville. 1st and 10. Lane's going to fake the screen left. Solomon trying to get out. He finds a receiver. The kid is really good at that. Finds a receiver on the far side. He's over the 35, over the 40. He'll be brought down about the 41-yard line. That's Virgil Young on the catch. So Lane runs 3 plays on the same play. They fake the screen to the left, fake the middle RPO, and Solomon had the presence of mind to roll the pocket and then find the receiver on the far side. Handed off again is Moffitt. Right up the middle again. That looks like number 8 for, it looked like Quinney, but it is Dew on a carry. Dew's going to finish with well over 100 yards for this game. Lane has another 1st down. 1st and 10 to the Bulldogs, 49-yard line. I see how Lane beat Tennessee State last year. Handoff again. That's Dew. Trying to come left side. You got to put more than one hat on him. The Bulldogs gang tackle him and put him down at the 49-yard line. No gain on the play. 2nd down and 10 coming. Bulldogs up 28-7. It's a 10-yard run. Douglas and Thomas were given credit for the tackle for the Bulldogs. Thomas Douglas was given credit for the tackle. 2nd and 10 from the Bulldogs, 49 goes Lane. 2 receivers on the far side with the H-back, 1 to the near. Solomon's going to fake the pass right, trying to run around the pocket. And he went to spinning around back there, and the Bulldogs finally get there. Hayden Guilford led other Bulldogs there. There's a little dance comes out. That's number 9 of the Bulldogs. That's Jordan Mitchell. Another one, the Appalachian State transferred. I think we said 3, but we might have 4 on the team. Ball all the way back now to the Lane 47. Clock running, 6:30 left to go in the 3rd. Trip receivers to the far side, 1 to the near, along with the pistol back. They'll run the swing pass and near side to Dew. This time the Bulldogs hurry up and get there. Nice tackle made, open field by number 21, Fielding for the Bulldogs. Good job by Fielding. The 5'10", 175-pound redshirt junior from Apopka, Florida, a Georgia Southern transfer. Now it is 4th down and 14. Gardner back deep, just outside his 25. Showles will punt, end over end, twister. Gardner tells everyone to get away again. It'll bounce sideways towards the Bulldog bench and will be down by number 31, Tatum of Lane. Bulldogs now will take over. 5:39 left to go in the 3rd period. Bulldogs up 28-7. Now the Bulldogs will be going left to right, wearing the white helmets with the maroon stripe, maroon interlocking AAMU logo, maroon jerseys, maroon pants, white numerals, white stripe. Oh my goodness. 47 seconds left to go in the fourth period. Miles is up on Alabama State, 21-17. South Florida beating up on Florida A&M, 24-14. Stephen F. Austin over Alcorn State, 15-10. Man, Miles beat Alabama State. We're going to have to widen the state tournament. Bulldogs handoff, no RPO. And caught by Keenan Hambrick at the 50-yard line, giving progress to the 49. Smooth-looking RPO out of the hands of Xavier Langford. Nicholas Patterson on the tackle for Lane. Bulldogs hurry up. Trip receivers to the near side. Spears at the tip. Another RPO, far side, this time caught by Gardner. On the slant from the far side, he's down at the 40-yard line, just inside the 40. Tatum on that tackle. Bulldogs hurrying up. Dwayne Taylor, late of the XFL. Las Vegas franchise, now back with the Bulldogs, offensive coordinator. Showing a little bit what the pro game helps you develop, but in my opinion, the college game leads pro football in offensive ingenuity. Handoff again here. Oh, RPO to the right, to the left side this time. Gums goes up the ladder and pulls it down. That'll be enough, just short of a first down, but it's a good 8-yard pickup for the Bulldogs. Down to the 31-yard line of Lane. Bulldogs up 28-7. Looking for more. Second down and 3. We want to see if Alabama State cannot come back against Miles. Here's another play action pass. Oh, he had the Angel tight end ride open. That's Brian Clark on the far side. That pass has been Langford's Achilles heel, if you will. When he goes left and he stands there, he needs to get his mechanics together because he's either overthrowing the intended receiver or underthrowing them. I mean, skipping it on the ground. Third down and 3 for the Bulldogs from the Lane 32. Let's keep the drive going. Langford, one setback behind him. 2 receivers for the Bulldogs, the near side. In the slot, we have a new number. That's Jacoby Hewitt, number 3, 6'1", 210-pound senior. Langford going to run the option at far side. Oh, my goodness. That's some trouble over there as Morrow takes the carry. He'll get enough for a first down, then run him out of bounds just about the 27-yard line of Lane. Jackson State 13, Southern 7. Jackson State trying to bounce back from their loss last week. Tennessee State 14, Arkansas Pine Bluff nothing. Timeout on the field. We'll take it with them. 45-second timeout. Bulldogs up 28-7. This is the Alabama A&M Sports Radio Network. Welcome back to the Lewis Cruz Physical Education Complex. And yes, Ted Dixie on the play-by-play, Darrell Griffin, our spotter, Kevin Cofield, our intern, Marcus Sims on the board behind us, taking Michael Burns' place, the newly retired Michael Burns, who today comes back to be the stadium announcer, sitting in for Ronald and Patricia Michaela McIntosh. Hope all goes well. And it didn't go well for Alabama State. Miles beat them. I'm still looking for the final score. There it is. No, I don't see it. They took it off the board already. Grambling down LSU 28-10. But Alabama State was up 24-21, I believe. 21-13. That's a different number. First and 10 for the Bulldogs from the 28-yard line of Lane. Langford going to hand it off. Right up the middle again. Bounces at the 20, at the 18, still on his feet at the 10, and finally brought down. Oh, my goodness. We'll try to see who that running back was. Number 26, that's Morrow again. Feeling much better, and a timeout now on the field. We have a Lane student-athlete down. We'll take a quick 30-second timeout with them. Bulldogs up 28-7, 3:33 left to go in the third. This is the Alabama A&M Sports Radio Network.
Left out. And for some, that feeling lasts more than a moment. We can change that. Learn how at belongingbeginswithus.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
To the 12th annual Lewis Cruz Classic. The Lane student-athlete gets up under his own power. It looks like number 38, Ellison. No, number 39, Sacobia, who's played an outstanding game. We've called his name a couple of times. Sacobia, I thought that was almost like something out of the Avengers. But nevertheless, Mr. Sacobia gets up, and we're happy he does. First and goal for the Bulldogs from the Lane 9. Now we have some unreadiness and some motion. Looks like a illegal procedure against the Bulldogs. My goodness. Let's see if I find that halftime stat sheet. Trying to see what our penalties were at the half. At the half, Bulldogs had 4 penalties, and I believe we've had 2 more in the second half. Sign of an undisciplined team would be a lot of penalties, and neither have done that today. First and goal from the 14-yard line of Lane goes the Bulldogs. Lane showing a blitz, but this time it runs against Morrow at the 10, the 5. Touchdown, Bulldogs! Ryan Morrow shot like a cannon. Nowinkono gets a touchdown, and then Morrow says, I need one too. That will push the score to 34-7 with the extra point to come. Now it looks like more of what we should have seen, and you can see this action on the Alabama A&M Football Review with head coach Kano Maynard tomorrow night at around 10:30 on WZDX Channel 54. And if you wait a couple of weeks, the first home game today, the Lewis Cruz Classic, was also the premiere of From the Hill Live game day show that will show every game day morning at 8:30 on Channel 48 WAFF. And Barbosa's extra point is good. Timeout on the field, 30-second timeout. Bulldogs up 35-7. This is the Alabama A&M Sports Radio Network.
My mom has taken up going to the park to practice yoga.
My dad's going to a club, but not a book club, a salsa club.
Finding new hobbies comes
back to the Lewis Cruz Classic. I'm cracking jokes in here. Ted Dixie, your play-by-play announcer, along with my spotter, Darrell Griffin. Marcus Sims, our halftime host. And our intern, Kevin Cofield, setting the record for the oldest intern in history. Luke Moffitt prepares to kick off. Trying to put one in the end zone again. And, yep, there it goes. Man, I love seeing those moonshots on kickoff. I promise you that. If there was anything in recruiting that we needed a kicker that could put the ball in the, as I like to say, between the L and the D. And since that happened, Lane will now start 1st and 10 from their 25-yard line. Bulldogs going to be a little nicked up after this game. We've seen Emma and her crew, Emma Brackett. Hello to Mr. and Mrs. Brackett who are listening. Hello to those of you listening in North Carolina. That would be Coach Maynard's brother Craig and Missy and the crew. They probably got about 100 people listening and watching this game on YouTube, and you can too. Alabama A&M Athletics is the YouTube channel. Here's a handoff again to Dew. Dew goes right, comes back left, and runs into 2 Bulldog defenders, but not before he picks up another 5-yard. No, they say 6 now. That kid Dew can run the football. Dew, who is 5'8", 185-pound redshirt junior out of Garyville, Louisiana, West St. John High School. Man, he can tote it. 2nd down and 4 for Lane from their 31. Bulldogs 4 down linemen, 1 linebacker in the box. Hand it off again. Dew goes right, comes all the way back left. He's at the 35-40, 45-50, 45. Dew finally pulled out of bounds by the Bulldogs' number 6, Amari Pate. But not before he makes a heck of a run, nearly 20 yards on the play. They'll run him out of bounds at the 44 of the Bulldogs. And I mean, he was shot out of a cannon. He runs right, it's stacked up, and he's got the vision to see that the lane is at the right and the left side of the offense, and he comes back that way, and then he takes off. 1st and 10 for Lane from the Bulldog 44. The Lane skill position players looking to the sideline. Trip receivers to the far side. The far 2 are flanked off the line of scrimmage, tight end to the near side. We're going to fake it this way and throw it that way, complete the 40-yard line, and then he makes a move on the Bulldog defender at the 35 and another move at the 30. Lane down, number 80, Jeremiah Santel with the reception and the run after the catch. That's going to look good on the stats. 1st and 10 for Lane from the Bulldog 28. 1:20 left to go in the 3rd period. Lane driving. Trip receivers to the near side. Hand it off to Dew again. Same play. Dew comes right, comes back left, and then this time he zigs back right. He goes all the way down to the Bulldog 23-yard line. Tackle made by 51, Xavier Billingsley out of the middle linebacker position. And Lane, the clock just running, 58 seconds. Lane with 3 timeouts, down 35-7. Trip receiver to the near side, due to the left of Solomon. Solomon going to fake the handoff, RPO the middle of the field, and it will fall well short of the intended receivers. That's because Solomon was under pressure by one of the Bulldogs, trying to get the number. It looks like I wanted to say number 11, but that's not him. Yeah, it might have been. Shaquem Gloucester Pace, 6'4", 220-pound redshirt sophomore out of Opelika. Not Opelika, Opelika, Florida, from Florida International. 3rd down and call it 4 for Lane. Lane down 35-7. This may be the last play of the 3rd quarter. Solomon back to pass. He's got a receiver in the middle of the field. It's complete to number 4. Number 5, Young. And he is down, but that will be enough for a Lane first down. There's a little scuffle on the field now, getting a little chippy there. And the clock just still running. Let it run. And it will be 1st and goal from the 17. Barbara Jean, looks like a good night for football as the clock runs down to the 3rd period. We'll switch ends. Take a 2-minute break. Bulldogs up on Lane, 35-7. This is the Alabama A&M Sports Radio Network. Welcome back to the Lewis Cruz Classic, the opening game of the home schedule for the Alabama A&M Bulldogs. Bulldogs up 35-7, just starting the 4th period. I'm Ted Dixie, your play-by-play host, along with our spotter, Darrell Griffin. Marcus Sims on the 1s and 2s, as we like to say, and then our intern, Kevin Cofield, who will get Social Security before his internship runs out. 1st and 10 for Lane from the Bulldogs 16-yard line. Lane down 35-7. Trip receivers to the near side, 1 tight end to the far, 1 running back. They're going to hand it off to Dew. And Dew, finally the Bulldogs get there in a hurry. Tackle made by number 93, Dorian Wesley, 6'5", 280-pound redshirt junior from Flat Rock, Michigan. University of Toledo. And speaking of Toledo, Toledo beat Texas Southern today 71-3. Bethune-Cookman up over Savannah State 31-6. LSU over Grambling 35-10. The Bulldogs go to Grambling a few weeks. Abilene Christian beating Prairie View 45-7. I've already told you about Alabama State going down like good soup. Solomon over the middle of the field, and it is complete. The defender was all over his back, but still could not prevent the tackle being made. Tristan Graham for the Bulldogs. No, Christian Silverstein for the Bulldogs. 6'1", 185-pound freshman. Don't think that's him. Might have had a jersey change. Reception made by Quinney. 1st and goal for Lane from the Bulldogs 6. Lane trailing 35-7. Going to hand it off again to Dew. He's wide open on the left side. Touchdown, Lane. Excuse me, that's Marlon Peters, the missed tackle for the Bulldogs. And now Lane goes up. That was Lane's running back into the end zone. Lane now will trail the Bulldogs 35-13 with the extra point to come. Shaw's on for the extra point attempt out of the hold of Jarrett Gaston. Lane has been able to put together some good-looking drives, but just not enough of them. And the Bulldogs block it. Got to pick it up, and the Bulldogs can get a point. Scoop and score. The Bulldogs pick it up. He's got a convoy trying to get all the way. 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Marvin Smith with the pick up, scoop, and score off the block. Extra point. 2 points for the Bulldogs. And now, this is really crazy. Now the Bulldogs, there is a free kick that will happen. And the Bulldogs will still get the ball back. You get 2 points and you get the ball back. Wow. Those are the kind of things that you'd like to see. Coach Maynard talked about what improvements he wanted to see from between week 1 and week 2 Well, you stop the drops. You want to increase your receptions. You want to turn down the turnovers. The Bulldogs only had one against Vandy. Had two earlier tonight, but they got that done after the first half. And then you get a blocked extra point, which you might as well say is a blocked field goal. It's a scrimmage kick. Bulldogs go all the way the other way, and then they'll still get the ball back because you change possession after the touchdown. And now the Bulldogs get a chance to press on, so that's a 6-point. That 2 points is a 4-point turnaround now instead of a 6 or 7-point advantage for Miles. Back deep for the Bulldogs. Bulldogs now going right to left, and Miles kicking off from left to right. Terrell Gardner, Cameron Young back deep. Wow. 37-13 is our score. Stalls with the onside kick. And now they're scrambling around, and Lane says they have it. Caught the Bulldog unaware. And Lane does. Bulldogs thinking it was going to be a deep kick. Stalls just kicked it down and ran behind it. Michael Brock recovers it for Lane. Oh, my goodness. Change of fortune on that one. 37-13 is the score, and Lane clearly practicing for later in the season. You like to see good football programs, just not when you play them. Nevertheless, the dog houses are full of excitement, the ones that are on the near side, even though they are all sold out. I'm going to go down after the game and go check them out. 1st and 10 for Lane from the Bulldog 48 after the onside kick. Surprised even me. Solomon, the quarterback. Play action pass. He's going to look left. Bulldogs trying to get there. Solomon chasing the pocket. Now he tried to stand up and still throw it, and he'll get pulled to the ground after he gains about 3. Trying to see who tackled him. Looked like number 54 for the Bulldogs. No, we'll say number 7, Jamarion Ellis. 3-yard pickup on the play. 2nd down and 7 for Miles for Lane. The Bulldog 45. I'm stuck on Miles because they beat Alabama State today. Handoff going left side is Lane's number 26, Peters. There's the gong. 3rd down. Call it 3rd and 5 for Lane. Yeah, Alabama State took it on the chin today. Then Jackson State came back, beat up on Southern 20-7. That's where we're headed next week. Wow. 3rd down and 5. Play action pass, RPO, middle of the field, picked off. Going the other way of the Bulldogs. The 45-50. 45 run out of bounds. That's the Bulldogs, number 6. Amari Pate. I think that's his 2nd interception of the day. Pate playing stellar football back there at safety. Man, your defense really looks different when you have a ball hawk at safety. And he went and got it. The RPO was kind of executed well. And I say kind of, but Pate just read it. And he stepped right in front of it. Bulldogs get the ball back after the onside kick by Lane. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs from the Lane 40. 12-10 left to go in the ball game. Bulldogs up 37-13. Wow. Langford in the backfield. Quick pitch to the right side. Looks like Gardner. And he is snowed under. No, that was Young. There were a lot of those plays for Young. Peterson on the tackle for Lane. Loss of 4. Back to the 44. 11:51. Stephen F. Austin 15. Alcorn 10. South Florida 24. Florida A&M 14. Tennessee State 14. Pine Bluff 0. Jackson State 20. Southern 7. That's in the 3rd period. Prairie View down to Abilene 45-7. Langford taking the snap. The offset eye is going to hand it off again. That's Morrow right up the middle. Morrow's going to get back that lost yardage and get the ball back to nearly the original line of scrimmage. Give him 3 yards on the carry. I give him 4. That's about where they marked it. Now they take the yard away. 3rd down and 11 for the Bulldogs. Clock running, 11 minutes left to go in the 4th period. Bulldogs up 37-13. Same formation, offset I to the near side. 2 receivers, but tight end and H-back, no, tight end to the H-back to the far side. Play action pass. Pass to the near side. Wide open is the receiver. Good play by the Bulldogs. They ran everyone downfield, and one receiver broke off his pattern. Now they're a little chippy behind the line of scrimmage. Darian Turner, a 6'3", 215-pound red shirt sophomore from Memphis, Tennessee, a University of Arkansas transfer. That play will give the Bulldogs all the way down to the 28-yard line of Lane and give the Bulldogs enough for a Bulldog first down. Bulldogs up 37-13. Diagonal backfield, 2 receivers either side. Going to hand off again to Morrow. He picks his way. He spins as he's hit, still on his feet at the 15, at the 10, 5. Morrow cut down short of the goal line by number 25, Patterson. Morrow almost scored on that one. You like the running game of the Bulldogs and trying to get the quickie stats here. Let's go to leaders, see what we get. First and goal for the Bulldogs from, call it the 2. Handoff from Morrow. Get him in the end zone. Touchdown, Bulldogs. Ryan Morrow gets another touchdown on the day. And now the will is beginning to be imposed. 43-13 is the score with the extra point to come. And now I don't know if we have an injured student athlete on the field for Lane. But Emma, Brackett, and the crew, I guess that's why they say EB. Now they get everyone separated and they get the student athlete off the field. This is the kind of game with Lane as intense as they are, and the Bulldogs equally as intensive at the 43-13 lead now with the extra point to come off the foot of Victor Barbosa out of the hold. Austin McCready, and now the snap. Miller. Snap, hold, kick. It is good. Timeout on the field, 9:17 left to go in the ball game. Bulldogs go up 44-13. This is the Alabama A&M Sports Radio Network. Welcome back to the 12th annual Lewis Cruz Classic. I'm Ted Dixie, your play-by-play announcer. Daryl Griffin, our spotter. Marcus Sims, 1s and 2s with it, and our halftime host. Kevin Cofield, our intern, has gone off to see what the attendance is tonight. Just to remind you, you can see all the action that took place tonight and hear what Coach Maynard's thoughts are on the Alabama A&M Football Review with head coach Connell Maynard. Produced by AVO Productions. Right on. Love working with them on Sunday morning. Got to get a couple of laughs when we get up that early. Be shown tomorrow night around 10:30 on WZDX Channel 54. We thank Mo Carter for all of his coverage. Thank you for Channel 48 for On the Hill Live as the Bulldogs run someone else onto the field. And, man, that's another kick to the end zone. Boy, I tell you what, if it's something I like besides winning, is that kickoff going right to the end zone. Man, Alabama State losing to Miles. It'll be that way if we lose the Tuskegee homecoming, too. Now, switching possessions here, 9:17 left to go. In the ball game, Lane will take over 1st and 10 from their 25. You kick that ball into that end zone, there's not a return. The receivers take that ball out, starting at their 25-yard line. They tried to return one and just got it up to the 20-yard line. So you're really looking at a 5-yard difference whether you take it or not. Demetrius Pogue in at quarterback now for Lane. Number 11, he's going to take it, scramble left side, and go around the edge. He'll pick up a couple of yards. crowd has not been announced, but we find out that it's a little over 8,000 tonight. I was hoping for 10. Second down and 8 for Lane from the 27. Trip receivers to the near side, one to the far, pistol back, who will take the handoff, and that's Jones, the receiver, coming out of the backfield. No, that's 24. Jamarquez Banks, running back. Lane emptying their bench, obviously. Just almost what we tried to do at Vanderbilt, but we were so close to winning that a lot of our starters, especially with Vanderbilt starters, stayed in the game through halfway through the fourth quarter. We were substituting along the way. That's where we found Caleb Dawson, who was our leading tackler last week. This week, Marvin Smith and Jordan Mitchell doing the work. Both have at least 10. Handoff again. That's back to number 24, Banks. And he will get enough for a Lane first down out over the 35-yard line. Around the 36 is where they'll mark him down. 7:50 left to go in the ball game. Like nothing better for Lane to keep the ball. You can go out with a bang. If I know the Bulldogs, Coach Boulware, Keonis Boulware, the defensive coordinator, I haven't looked to see what coaches are up in the booth. I'm going to hand it off again, going left side. That's number 11, Aaron Burton, 5'10", 175-pound freshman running back out of Columbus, Georgia, Glenwood High School, excuse me. Say hey to all the folks down in Columbus. And hey to most of you listening around the world, North Carolina, Maryland, Atlanta, Houston, Austin, Los Angeles. And I know there are a couple of service people listening. Thank you for what you do. Handoff again, goes right up the middle for Lane. And they'll bounce down and be brought down around the 41-yard line. It's number 11 again, Burton. Tackle made by the Bulldogs, number 50, Demetrius Biambi, out of South Florida. Third down and 6 for Miles. No, I'll call a long 5. Bulldog defense, be nice to get off the field here, then we can hold the ball for the rest of the game. 4 down lineman for the Bulldogs, single high safety. As soon as he turns, I'm going to bet that's Pate. Pass to the left side. Ooh, my goodness. The defender gets there right away. Read that the whole way. That's number 10, Cortez Andrews, 6'1", 245-pound junior linebacker, the Florida State transfer. And now Lane will punt from a promising drive to punting to the Bulldogs. 6 minutes left to go in the ball game. At halftime, it was a little bit shaky there for the Bulldogs. Didn't know whether we were going to be able to take what Lane was giving out. Still talking about Miles and Alabama State. Bulldogs show token pressure. Gardner's going to get a chance to return. He puts his head down, still on his feet. 35, 40, 45, 50. Gardner's still on his feet. 45-yard line. Gardner gone. 35, 25, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown. Terrell Gardner, his second of the season, third for his career. No flags on the play. Punt return touchdown for the Bulldogs. Wow. Gardner just would not be denied on the play. His stutter step, and Lane had about 4 defenders around him in a halo. He stepped through one tackle, spun on another one, and it was off to the races. Oh, my goodness. And Gardner, when I interviewed him during practice this week, he had just scored a touchdown on a play. That's why he was out of breath. And now out of the snap of Miller, the hold of McCready, the extra point attempt from Barbosa. It is good. Timeout on the field, 5:22 left to go in the game. Bulldogs hit the 50 mark. 51-13 is our score. Timeout on the field, 30-second timeout. This is the Alabama A&M Sports Radio Network. To the Lewis Cruz Classic, number 12 in the books. Bulldogs go up 51-13. That's what you want to see when you talk about improvement from week 1 to week 2. Gardner's return, 69 yards. I said at the beginning of the season in practice, like, Coach, when you going to get me to Fred Ferrier, who's one of the special team coordinators? Coach, when you going to get me a punt return to talk about on the air? Well, Gardner just gave me one. Wow, Lee Jean. Bulldogs up 51-13. Moffitt with the kickoff. Going down the left side, it's high. Doesn't make the end zone this time. It'll be fielded at the 7. Lane coming this way. Jones still on his feet, and he'll be brought down the 25-yard line. Could just let that one go in the end zone, save yourself that beating, but never mind. Lane take over 1st and 10. That's Holland on the return. My goodness. Nothing like getting a little bit of excitement. We'll make sure that all of that action is captured, and you will see it. Good job by the folks who take care of us video-wise. Let me pull those names up for you. Andrew Karstarfin and Jordan Norsworthy. I guess I said that's close. I'll get better, folks. I think Jordan and I were talking. I said, Norsworthy, right? He said, yeah, Norsworthy. I said, didn't I say that? He said, no, I said it a little different. Okay, Norsworthy. 1st and 10 for Lane, excuse me. 3 receivers to the far side. He's going to run the RPO that way. Ball tipped in the air. It'll be caught by the Lane receiver. Man, he was in the right place at the right time. He makes the catch out to the 31-yard line. That's Jeremiah Sartell with the catch. That's a Lane first down. 4 minutes, 50 seconds left to go in the ball game. We're going to head over to the field house and see what the doings is after the games. The doings are, excuse me, Barbara Jean. You know, we missed a lot of people who used to listen to Bulldog football. Evelyn Rich was one of them. Most of us have lost someone after, during, and before the pandemic, so let us know that our thoughts and prayers are with you. Catch by Jones at the 45-50. Jones run out of bounds short of the Bulldog 45-yard line. Looking to see, and the Bulldogs have a couple of student athletes on the field we have not seen. Did not know we had two 52s. There's Jalen Wright, who's on the field, who was in on that tackle, 5'11", 235-pound freshman, Birmingham, Alabama, Ramsey High School, same high school as Terrell Gardner. 1st and 10 for Lane from their 47-yard line. Clock running, 3:50 left to go in the ball game. A little over 8,000 tonight here at the game. And the folks gathered down here at the bottom of the Marching Maroon and White for the band head event. Here's a deep pass by Lane. He has a receiver, overthrew him and everyone else. Defended on the play by Tristan Graham of the Bulldogs. Intended receiver was Quinney, number 8 for Lane. Incomplete pass, 2nd down and 10. Don't forget, folks, next week the Bulldogs are off to Baton Rouge. First SWAC conference game of the year. Southern playing, no, that's Grambling playing LSU. Southern losing to Jackson State 20-7. And now the ball on the ground, and a flag comes in. And I don't know if they're going to call a penalty on the Bulldogs 90. Nicholas Glenn, a 6', 270-pound redshirt sophomore from Deerfield Beach, Florida. Personal foul, roughing the passer against the Bulldogs. That's a tough one. When quarterbacks scramble around, we were talking about this last week at Vandy. When quarterbacks scramble around, when they leave the pocket, they cease to become only a passer and become a rusher and a passer. But the rules have become so liberal that the defender can't afford to pull up because you might get a completed pass thrown on you. So you try to run through the quarterback, so you're really in no person's land, if you will. And that's what Coach Maynard is talking about right now. The man left the pocket. How can that be roughing the passer? And we'll be sure to ask Coach Maynard about that. Coach Maynard looking good in his white shirt and the khaki pants and those sweet white shoes. Now figure out what I got to do to get a pair of shoes. Jackson State up on Southern 20-7. The Bulldogs visit Southern next week. That game on ESPN Plus. This one had no television, but you can go to the AAMU, Alabama A&M Sports YouTube channel. Bulldogs try to get there again in the backfield. That's number 61 that caused all that pressure. C.J. Dunn, a 6'4", 250-pound junior defensive end from Bourbonnais, Bourbonnais, Illinois. Northern Illinois transfer. 2nd down and 10. Clock stopped at 3:19. 2nd down and 10 for Lane. From the Bulldog 37. Lane would like nothing more than score here at the end of the game like the Bulldogs did in Nashville against Vanderbilt. Here's a pass down the left side. Intercepted late down the middle. No way you should make that throw. 35-40. 45-50. Sit on his feet and just wiped out inside the 45-yard line of Lane. Interception made by the Bulldogs. Number 36, Lynn Petway, safety, 5'9", 170-pound redshirt freshman out of Montgomery, Alabama. Park Crossings High School. Drew Marshall planted him when he got to the other side of the field. Welcome to the Southwestern Athletic Conference, son. As the Cards are making their way up to Meridian Street. And the beats are coming through the sound system. We have one of the better sound systems in the conference, folks, let me tell you. As President Wims remarked one day, you can feel that in your chest. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs from the Bulldog 43. Going to hand it off again. Going to the left side, trying to see which Bulldog this is carrying now. Number 4, Cam Young on the carry, out of the backfield. No, check that. Number 12, Corey Chavis, who's in there in the running back spot. No, Corey is in at quarterback now. Good job by Corey. Corey Chavis, number 12, 6'6", 200-pound freshman out of Redford, Michigan, Redford Union High School. I saw him at halftime and said, hey, man, learn the plays. So we've seen Xavier Langford, Quincy Casey, and now the Bulldogs' 3rd quarterback. That's what a 51-13 score does. Carried by number 42, Barry White. The tight end for the Bulldogs. Coach Maynard doesn't mind seeing what other people can do. If you've ever gone to practice, he'll find someone during the season and tell his position coach, give that kid a chance. And you'll be surprised. Coach Maynard's eye for talent and where they can be utilized is magnificent. 3rd down and 2 for the Bulldogs. And I have to stop in on one of the booths. Someone gives Coach Maynard a hard time and said she'll send 2 women in a truck for him. Here's a handoff up the middle and blasting through. What do you like about the Bulldog rushing attack? Again, that's Barry White again, a tight end listed, but then he was a young man I was speaking about that Coach Maynard said, put him at fullback. Let's see what he does. Well, he's getting a chance to carry the ball tonight. 1:20 left in the clock. Good job by our intern today. Thank you so much. You too can be an intern here at a Bulldog football game. Just contact Marcus Sims at the station. He'll get you lined up and work you to death. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs from the 29-yard line. Handoff again up the middle, and the Bulldogs are just going to push that pile all the way down to the 25-yard line, 4-yard pickup. 51 seconds left to go, and let's see if the Bulldogs can meander enough. The play clock, because the rules have changed again in college football. Right when you go down, the play clock changes. It's really been that way for years, but now it's being enforced. Bulldogs just have to snap it one more time. 19 seconds on the play clock, 37 thereabout on the game. Been a fine afternoon. Good way to celebrate Coach Lewis Cruz, who has done so much. And you know the mark as the Bulldogs take the victory formation. Number 12, Corey Chavis does the honors. 20 seconds on the clock for Coach Cruz, how you can tell that he is really, really a very valued person in our community. Look to see what his student athletes went on to do in subsequent life. Even some of them are old now and have trouble getting around. Some of the lives that they have affected are here today. So we thank you to Coach Cruz and to his family for those who gave more than they should have. And that will do it. 51-13 is our final score. Thank you so much for listening. When we come back, we'll have the post-game show and wrap it up from the 12th annual Lewis Cruz Classic. Bulldogs beat Lane 51-13. This is the Alabama A&M Sports Radio Network.